Hi, and welcome to K Sports TV. And today we are going to be breaking down my first official mock draft for the upcoming 2017 NFL Draft. And one thing to note and keep in mind is that today is only January 28th, so many things will change between now and April, as I'm sure a lot of different guys' stock will rise and fall for various reasons. But I am sure I will have plenty of more mock drafts for you guys over the next 3 months as we get more and more info, and not only the players themselves, but also what teams are thinking in terms of their draft strategy and what positions and whatnot they will want to prioritize. Another thing to keep in mind is that since it is so early in the process, this will be a shorter mock draft, and the closer we get to the draft, the longer and longer they will be. As today, looking on the screen, you can see I have the 32 picks listed, but 10 of the 32 have little asterisks or stars next to them. These are the picks that I feel that are important or that I really want to talk about more in depth than the rest. And those are the 10 picks I will focus on, but I will also still talk about all the 32 picks individually, but with those 10 stars being favored. Now, enough with the talk. Let's get into my first mock draft of 2017. Up first, of course, are the Cleveland Browns, and this not only is the first pick of the draft, this is the first of my 10 starred picks, as I have the 1 in 15 Cleveland Browns not picking a quarterback, but going with the best player, the consensus best player in this draft, defensive end or outside linebacker, Myles Garrett out of Texas A&M, 6'5", 260. This guy is just a beast, and the Browns cannot pass on him. Don't overthink it. Don't trade back. Don't draft a quarterback. Draft Myles Garrett. He is the Von Miller rusher. He is that Derek Johnson rusher. 15 sacks. Not Derek Johnson. What am I talking? Justin Houston. Sorry. 15 sack plus a year. Maybe even 10 sacks year one. That is how good this guy is. This guy is a transcendent, a cornerstone for your defense. If you pass on this guy for a Mitch Trubisky or a DeShaun Kizer or DeShaun Watson, no, terrible decision. Go with the easy slam dunk pick here, Myles Garrett, number 1 to Cleveland. And with the Browns taking Myles Garrett number 1, it leaves the 49ers here to take Mitch Trubisky, quarterback, North Carolina. And I said the Browns should not take him or any quarterback, and I don't think the 49ers should either. But this is a mock draft where I'm going to predict what they're going to do. And I see the 49ers reaching here, even though Trubisky is my best quarterback, he's not the second best player in this draft. But since he's a quarterback, and it is the first quarterback off the board, I put a star next to it because everybody is gonna, all the cameras and all the talk is gonna be like, which quarterback goes first? All people care about is quarterbacks. So I feel like this is one of the turning points, one of the important draft pieces of this draft. And from the 49ers perspective, seems like Kyle Shanahan will take over. He's a little bit of a quarterback whisperer. So if any guy is gonna succeed in this league, it's gonna be under Kyle Shanahan. This guy turns quarterbacks into gold almost. So if Trubisky is any good, he only started 1 year at Carolina. But if he is any good, Kyle Shanahan will get the best out of him, and he will work to rebuild that 49ers team of a couple years ago that went to Super Bowls and then championships every year under John Harbaugh. The next two picks after that, I'm going to talk a little bit more briefly about, as I have the Bears and the Jacksonville Jaguars both getting similar players in Jonathan Allen and Solomon Thomas. Jonathan Allen is the better of the two. Jonathan Allen is arguably the second best player in this whole draft. He's a 5 technique, 3-4 end, 6'3", 290 out of Alabama. And I see Chicago Bears not taking a quarterback. I feel like they might take Trubisky if he's there, but since San Fran is taking Trubisky, I see them going Jonathan Allen as John Fox. He looks to build up this defense, and they'll probably come get a quarterback either the second or the third round. Jacksonville's perspective, Solomon Thomas can play 3 technique for them, or he can play defensive end opposite Dante Fowler. Their offense needs work, but I don't know if there's any offensive lineman worth taking this high. And also, They keep saying that Blake Bortles is their guy. I think he's terrible, but if they believe in him, they won't take a quarterback, and Solomon Thomas is a good fit for that 4-3 defense. The next pick is one I really, really, really wanted to talk about, and that is why it's my third star. Malik Hooker from Ohio State. This guy is my hands down favorite player of this draft. 6'2", 205, ball hawk. And when I say ball hawk, I mean if you throw the ball and Malik Hooker's on the field, it literally might get intercepted. That's how good his ball skills are. This guy, to me, might be the next Ed Reed. He misses some tackles, and he might not have the return ability of Ed Reed. But to me, he's Ed Reed. He's not really the great Sean Taylor, because Sean Taylor could hit. Ed Reed could take it to the house. But this guy will come into the league, and in 4 or 5 years, he will be the best free safety in the NFL. This guy is a blue chipper. My favorite player, just to watch him. He's just a beast. Quarterback, he's a rough rider. Oh my God, you guys don't understand how much I love Malik Hooker. And Tennessee cannot pass on a guy like this, as their whole secondary is bad. They could take a corner here, but they cannot pass on the best DB in this class, Malik Hooker. In this passing league, you need a safety like him. So I have Malik Hooker out of Ohio State, going to Tennessee at pick 5. And after that, I have the New York Jets, Jets, taking Leonard Fournette. This is another starred pick, and the reason why this is starred, because he's the first running back off the board. And running back, similar to quarterback, is a very talked about position, as most people, well, a lot of people, don't think running back should go first round, and some say they should. Ezekiel Elliott from my Dallas Cowboys went 4th overall. He looked fine. Fournette, to me, might be a better runner than Elliott. Not as well rounded, but as a pure runner, he's just as fast as Elliott. He's a little bit bigger than Elliott, more power than Elliott. Fournette, purely as a runner, is a beast. His vision is iffy. He can't really block, and he has an injury history. But from a pure running perspective, this guy is a beast. And I'm hearing reports that the Jets will take the best player available and not take a quarterback, as they really like Hackenberg. If they really like Hackenberg, and I don't see a defensive player going here, Fournette can help out any young quarterback or even a veteran quarterback. Fournette makes whatever quarterback you have better, and that's why I see the Jets taking him at 6. Moving along a little bit quickly, at number 7, I have the LA Chargers taking Jamal Adams, as they need a replacement for Eric Weddle. Eric Weddle is more of a free safety, and Adams I see as a strong safety. He reminds me a lot of Landon Collins. In fact, I think he's a Landon Collins clone that can play strong or free, more strong. And I think the Chargers get a leader of that defense there at 7. After that, I have Carolina at 8 taking Marshawn Lattimore, the best corner in this draft. Josh Norman left, and you saw how bad that secondary was. They could use a safety, but with Jamal Adams and Malik Hooker both gone, they got to take the best corner. And it's not a bad consolation, as Marshawn Lattimore is a uber athlete. His athleticism is off the charts. He is a lockdown corner in this league. Next up, after that, I have the Bengals at 9, taking Reuben Foster, inside linebacker out of Alabama, 6'1", 230. The Bengals last year struggled just overall, and to me, if I was them, I would fire Marvin Lewis. I don't think they will. And with that said here, I have them taking Reuben Foster, as Vontaze Burfict is suspended or injured or doing something stupid. And then Ray Maluga is old. They need some younger, more reliable linebacker. And Reuben Foster is just that. He's reliable, sure tackler, no off the field issues. So I see Reuben Foster going to Cincinnati at number 9. And then to round out the top 10, I have Buffalo pairing Sammy Watkins, a former Clemson receiver, with another former Clemson receiver, Mike Williams, as Williams and Watkins complement each other perfect, as one is smaller, fast, and one is a big physical receiver to give whoever the hell their quarterback is some targets. And with the top 10 being wrapped up, I'm just going to skim around, talk about my starred picks, so this video won't be too long, but you can still see your favorite team's pick on the board. And also, one thing I forgot to say is, if you look at the bottom, I listed notable players missing, which is players that people have put in their first round but didn't make my first round. for various reasons, as people like Jabril Peppers fall out because he doesn't have a true position, and people like Tim Williams who have fallen out because of off the field issues. I believe I have 7 players listed there, all guys who are borderline first, second round picks that could easily have gone on day one that just didn't fit in my mock draft. Getting into my next star, I believe it is the 4th of 10, DeShaun Watson at 12, going to Cleveland. This is a very important pick, as he is the hottest name in college football right now, as he just led his team to a great upset victory just a couple weeks ago against the #1 Alabama defense. And a lot of people have DeShaun Watson skyrocketing up. Some people even think Cleveland will take him at 1. I think that's way too high. I think 12 is still too high. But I see the Cleveland Browns falling in love with Watson off the field, and I kind of compare him to Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott went in the 4th round. DeShaun Watson is a little bit better at coming out of college, so I think he's a 2nd round pick. But if he is Dak Prescott, this is a great pick because Dak Prescott, we redrafted, probably would have went #1. And so DeShaun Watson at 12, he can be what Dak Prescott is, or he can be what Dak Prescott was supposed to be, a backup who maybe can start in a couple years. So we just don't know, but it's definitely an important pick, as a lot of eyes will be watching DeShaun Watson if he's in the green room or something. A lot of people want to know where Watson goes. Next important pick I see is 18, Tennessee Titans, Teez Tabor, another guy who's one of my favorite players. But the reason why I started this is because I wanted to show how Tennessee, this is Tennessee's 2nd pick. They got #5, which was, I believe, the Rams pick, if I'm not mistaken. And now they have 18th pick, which is, or Tennessee's pick might be of Philadelphia's or LA's, I forgot. But their 18th pick is theirs, and they go with Teez Tabor. The reason why I started this is he is a good player, but the fact that the Tennessee Titans get Malik Hooker and Teez Tabor, I think the Tennessee Titans might, just by those 2 picks alone, have won this draft already. I just think if Tennessee can get 2 top players like this, it will be a great draft for them, as Teez Tabor, to me, is the 2nd best corner, only behind Lattimore, in this draft. Right after that, he's not a star, but I wanted to touch on him. John Ross, speedster, also one of my favorite players. He's a Deshaun Jackson clone, and I see him going to Tampa Bay at 19. The pick after that is my next star, and the reason why I've started this is because the defending Super Bowl champions, Denver Broncos, are still the defending Super Bowl champions as of now, January 28th. Go and shore up the offensive line. The reason why I wanted to talk about this is people are under the assumption Broncos need a quarterback. Yes, quarterback is kind of a need, but it's nowhere near #1. People, if you watch the Broncos play, they don't need a quarterback to win. Trevor Siemian they can win with Trevor Siemian. The problem is they can't run the ball. The reason why they can't run the ball, they can't block. And since they can't block the running, they can't block the pass either. So Trevor Siemian doesn't have a pass block. He doesn't have a run block. He doesn't have a running game. So Trevor Siemian is just there trying to throw to you as good receivers. I'll give him that. But if you shore up this offensive line, the quarterback will look better. The running back will look better. The offense will look better. The defense will go back to being elite. And you have another Super Bowl contender. They need to build this offensive line first. They don't need a quarterback. They don't need Tony Romo, who will get hurt game 1. They need to shore up the offensive line, and I see them doing that with Cam Robinson, the best tackle in this draft class. The next star pick I have was Houston at 25, taking DeShaun Kizer. Kind of a fall, because a lot of people have him as their #1 quarterback. Some people has #3, some people have #2, but almost everyone has him in the 1st round. And I almost had him sliding out of the 1st round completely, but I put him at 25 to Houston just because Brock Osweiler is trash. And they can't afford to go get another quarterback in free agency because of Osweiler's contract. They can't get Romo. They can't get Tyrod Taylor. They can't go Kirk Cousins if he's available. So they have to draft one, and DeShaun Kizer is the best one left. And I think he has talent, but he's very worried because The narrative on him is that he's the most talented quarterback. He can make all the throws. But to me, quarterback isn't about making throws. When you get to the pro level, almost everyone has equal arms. Some people have really big arms, but everyone can make all the throws. That's not the problem with people who are bust. It's the mental capabilities, and I don't know if he has those. He has the arm, but does he have the DeShaun Watson mentalities? See, Watson has displayed bad accuracy. Kizer's arm is beautiful. It's just mentally, he's not as sharp as Watson. So that's why I have Kizer at 25 and not at 2 or 12. The next star pick I have to that is kind of a biased star. Is Charles Harris, 28th overall, 6'3", 255, defensive end out of Missouri. If you guys did not know already, I am a Dallas Cowboys fan, and we need to get a pass rusher. The guy I want is Takaris McKinley, but as you can see, I have him going 16 to Baltimore, as I feel like he will go to the combine. And we see it every year. Someone goes to the combine, blows it up, and skyrockets up. Right now, Takaris McKinley might fall to Cowboys, but the fact that I feel like he's going to have a great combine, I see him going higher. And the Baltimore Ravens need pass rush as Terrell Suggs is old. So I see Baltimore taking McKinley and Cowboys all the way at 28. The next best guy is Charles Harris out of Missouri. And the reason why it started basically is because I'm a Cowboys fan, and I think Charles Harris can come in and be that right end, as Randy Gregory cannot stay off the weed, as Stephen A. Smith would say. And so we need a right end, and Charles Harris is our right end. And then looking forward, the last pick of the draft and my last star, and it's not racist, but I see Christian McCaffrey going to the Patriots just because he is a Patriots kind of guy. He can run, he can catch, he will kick return. Patriots love value. They love players who can play multiple positions on defense and on offense. They don't like these set players. The only set player I see is like LeGarrette Blount. He has one job. Everyone else has multiple jobs. And then there's Julian Edelman, even Rob Gronkowski, James White, Dion Lewis. All these guys are versatile. Number one trait. Christian McCaffrey could be a slot receiver, I think, if he wanted to. He can be a running back. He could be a fullback. He can be a kick returner. He can be whatever you want him to be. And so Christian McCaffrey, he's basically an athlete, and I think the Patriots will mold him into just a weapon. He won't have a set position. He might not have the best stats because when you play so many different positions, you can't have enough stats in that one position. Like he might have 500 rushing yards, 500 passing, receiving yards, 5 rushing touchdowns, 5 passing touchdowns, and a couple kick return touchdowns. So if you just looked at his stats, it wouldn't look that good. But if you combine it, his all-purpose yards will be ridiculous at the next level, as he has speed, agility, and vision. Christian McCaffrey is my last pick of this draft, my last important pick. And the Patriots, like they always do, just sit at the end of the draft every year and just wait, and they always get a stud, and they do it again. And with that said, I already talked about the notable players missing. Jabril Peppers, everyone loves him, but I don't see him in this draft. Tre'Davious White, a corner. He's at the Senior Bowl. I don't see him sneaking in. Carl Lawson, who is a first-round talent, no doubt, but it's injury problems. And then Adoree Jackson, who's also one of those Heisman contenders. He doesn't really have a true position. I listed as in the corner. I think he's going to try to play corner, but his tape at corner is bad. Kick returner, exciting. Punt returner, exciting. Wide receiver, occasionally exciting. But at corner, he does get beat a lot. So that's why I see him in the second round. Overall, I think this is a pretty good projection for now. I see a lot of people going up and down. People like Malik McDowell at 17 to Washington. He might test well at the combine, even though his tape was poor. Might shoot up. A guy like Derek Barnett, who I believe broke Randy White's sack record, slid in my prediction all the way to 21 because I feel like he's a guy who won't test well, and that's why he will fall. And another guy I wanted to talk about was Hassan Reddick, Kansas City's 27th overall. This is a late riser who has been a second round pick for the most of the process, but recently at the Senior Bowl, he's had a great week of practice and he's shooting up boards. And I believe I saw on NFL.com or CBS Sports, they have him now as a top 30 player, and that's why I have him in my mock draft to going to 27th to the Chiefs to replace the injured Derrick Johnson, as I think he might come back and retire, or he might come back and not be the same player, so they get a nice replacement there at 27. With that said, I think I've talked about everything I want to talk about, and that will end my first official 2017 NFL mock draft. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, as I will be posting some scouting reports and more mock drafts as we get closer to the draft. And also, I will be posting a prediction for the Super Bowl in this, I believe, sometime this week. So stay tuned for that. And that will wrap up today's video. Thanks for watching K Sports TV. I'm out.